Alright, what's up everybody? Pat Vellner here. We're back at home. Wodapalooza is behind us, but it's taken us a little bit of time to get our feet settled on the ground and get some things put together. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what went on the weekend at Wodapalooza, give you guys a little bit of the recap of the competition, and yeah, let you guys see it through my eyes. So let's get into it. So back at Wodapalooza, for me, my fourth time I've won Wodapalooza the last 3 years, or 3 times they've run it anyway. So going in, obviously I had the goal to try to maintain that crown and try to win it for 4 straight. You know, I still finished on the podium this year, some really strong contenders in the men's side. Didn't quite pull off the win, but it was a pretty strong weekend. I'm pretty happy with how things went given where I am in the season, and you know, right from the beginning, it was a really fun race, and it's really fun to compete against Roman and Ricky. That first event we had was on the Bayside stage. We did a bunch of ring muscle ups and heavy squats, back squats, front squats, overhead squats. I was really aggressive in that workout. With the long straps on the rings, I kind of have a bit of a more experience and a little bit of an advantage there. So I tried to push my luck on the rings a little bit, and I have maybe a little shakier overhead squat position than some of the fellas out there. So I gambled a little and hoped I'd be able to hang on that last set of squats. Ollie.
He just looks right at the camera.
I wasn't quite able to hang on for my squats at the end, so you know, I dropped my squats. I was in a tight race with Ricky, and you know, once I failed there was no sense in panicking and doing anything reckless to try to pick it up and go again right away. So we were about probably a full minute and some ahead of the pack, and that was sort of a, I don't know, maybe a little telling of how the weekend was going to go, but it was still a good workout for me. I think I finished 3rd, but that first event of the weekend was brutal. It was hard on the body, and that one, the next one, we had a long chipper on the Bayside stage with a mile run in the middle, lots of squatting, lots of lunging, rope climbs, GHDs. Those 2 events, first 2 events of the weekend, it was hot and they were hard, and that was where most of the individuals had their havoc wreaked on their bodies. So both of those events I remember finishing it and kind of hitting the ice bath afterwards and wondering what the hell I was doing there. Because those hurt. Both of them executed pretty well. I think a third and a 4th place finish for me on both of those events, which is a pretty good start to a competition. But woof, the body was feeling it after that, and so it was tough to rally in between those 2 events. Headed into the evening, we had a back-to-back workout on day 1, a bunch of rebounding and toes to bar shuttle runs, and then we had a bunch of D-ball work after that, both 100 points. So, you know, 200-point swings at the end of an evening is pretty significant. I'm a pretty good jumper, and I have pretty good toes to bar. I've done a lot of shuttle runs in my life playing lacrosse, so I kind of wanted to push it on that first one and then just figure it out for the second one. It was hard. It wasn't that bad. I think it was more of like a mental battle of just being really focused on razor thin margins with the hop overs. You couldn't, if you hit a hurdle, you'd have to go get it, like pick it up, you know, reset everything. If you miss a line, or you know, you put a hand on the line instead of behind the line, you'd get called back. So there was a lot of really specific details in that workout. So for a workout that was very fast and frantic, it was something that kept your brain very occupied. But that was a fun one. I won that workout. It went super well. And then moving into the next part with the row into the D-ball over shoulder or to shoulder and then carries, I gotta be honest, I lost my focus a little bit in the back half of that workout, and I was struggling a little bit, getting very sweaty out in Miami, and normally when I'm doing D-ball work, I have a little better grip on the ball, and I was definitely slipping sliding out there, and it just sort of pulls you out of your game a little bit, and I think I lost some precious seconds in that one, just fumbling around with stuff. I lost one bag over the shoulder that was a no rep, and could have been better on that one. So kind of highs and lows to end the first day of competition. I think I was still in the top 3 at the end of day 1, which is great. you know, but it was tight, very stiff competition. Day 2 started, legs were wrecked. I think everybody's legs were super wrecked from basically those first 2 events. We started day 2 with the weightlifting and the handstand hold, which was kind of fun. A new parallel handstand hold was brand new. I am pretty good on that, and those are so stressful for me when I have to do something like that, especially a one-shot deal where it's like, you know, you had 10 seconds to kick up and get into your hold, and then that was that, no do-overs. So execution is super high. Heavy clean and jerk, I have not been weightlifting a lot. I've been doing a lot of powerlifting, so I was feeling a little clumsy leading into Wodapalooza on my weightlifting stuff. So overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how that went. I hit all my lifts. I hit 346, which is, you know, as heavy a lift as I've hit since probably before the games. And, you know, my best, it's only, what, 9 pounds off my best ever. So I was really happy with that. I think I was just lacking a little bit of confidence to go for something a little bigger just because I haven't been doing it as much. But it was clean, stressful on the handstand hold, probably underperformed a little bit, but it was still fine. I think I took like a 6th place or something there. But man, guys are strong now. Like 346 is not a light lift, but I think it was 16th or something in that field. So guys are super strong. So for an execution I was pretty happy with. It was actually my worst finish of the competition. And then next up was our swim workout, which was pretty fun actually, and it was a really good swim workout. Like not just swimming, but you had a lot of other pieces in there that would mess up your swimming. The heavy wall balls were kind of the whole workout. I think that the second set of heavy wall balls is where the best people separated themselves, and I struggled in that second set. I was sliding on the ball and getting no reps for height, and I had trouble stringing big sets together. I think I stopped trying and basically switched to doing sets of like 6 that I felt like I could confidently do with a short break and just keep chipping away. But I got my ass kicked a little bit on the wall ball. But my swimming went really nice. It was pretty smooth and relaxed, and I was able to kind of push on the drag rope and close in on some guys there. So overall, reasonably happy with how that went. Could have executed the wall balls better, and it would have made a massive difference. And then another back-to-back workout to finish the weekend. Again, this was after a cut, and they changed the scoring system on us. So the drops were pretty huge. It was like 10-point drops, at least in the top few positions in scoring. And they didn't tell us. We asked in the tent before taking the floor, and they just said that they didn't know. So we didn't really know what the scoring system was taking the floor. We just knew we were going to do some dumbbell bench and some chest bars with a bit of echo bike, and then go into doing a burpee over bar and basically Isabel, a bunch of snatches to finish. So one kind of slower, grindier one with the high risk of failure on the dumbbells, and then one kind of burn the house down to finish it. Again, the back-to-back workouts with the short reset are tough, and there's a bit of gambling that goes on, a bit of gaming. In this particular setup at the end, there were some guys who gamed it a bit and threw the first event so that they could attack the second one and try to make big points. But I was actually at this point, I think I was, Ricky and Roman were a little bit ahead of me, and I had to try to keep Brent behind me. Brent, Nick Matthews, some guys like that. So I figured if I executed pretty well, I wouldn't have any trouble. And I did exactly what I needed to do. Broke the bench press up a fair amount so that I wouldn't hit a wall in that last round, which a lot of guys did. Broke my chest to bars, just kind of kept it smooth. And then I fleeced a bunch of guys on the echo bike at the end who were just cowards, I think. It was the 30 cal bike, and some guys were just kind of pedaling it to, I think, thinking about the next event already. But with the big point swing, I think I passed 3 or 4 guys on the echo bike, and then took a 3rd place in that event, which, to be honest, in a bench press workout, I probably shouldn't be doing, but that's the way it works. I really pushed it at the end there, and we had a pretty big break. If you finished fast in that workout, you had enough time to recover at least decently from that bike before you had to take the floor again. And I kind of, on that last workout, I was pacing the burpees for the 30, and then I had it in my head that I was just going to do 2 sets on the barbell. We had to do a penalty every time you drop the barbell, so I told myself I had 36 burpees in the tank. or was it 33 burpees and 30 snatches, or just 30 and 30? I don't remember. I had enough to do one penalty, and that was all I wanted to do. So I actually opted to do like a no contact snatch, almost like a little bit of a muscle snatch with a dip, and just sort of like save that impact to try to save my lungs a little bit. And it worked really well. I did like 20 and 10 to finish off, and I came third in that event as well. So I made big points up on the boys in that last 2 events. Not quite enough to catch Roman, unfortunately. Needed a little bit of help from some of the other guys in that last workout. But Roman held me off by about 10 points, and Ricky we did great in those last couple as well. So, but it was good. It was nice to have a strong performance. Ollie, do you mind? Ollie? Excuse me. But for me, it was nice to show up and have a big performance in the last 2 workouts back to back again. I think it just kind of shows my training is in a good place. My durability is still good when it comes to, that's, you know, events 7 and 8 of the weekend, and guys are starting to get tired. I'm starting to come to life. So it's always nice to see that despite my advancing age, as some people might say in the sport, I'm still able to kind of put out in those late stages of competition, which is super important. So it was good. It was a good finish. You know, because I didn't exactly get what I came for. It would have been awesome to hit 4 straight, but being super competitive in that field and still trying to push around the guys who were top of the games this last year, it kind of shows that I'm where I should be, where I need to be, and it's always nice to expose yourself on the floor a little bit and see where you really need to work. So it's nice to take that home and try to get ready for next time. Over the course of the individual competition, I was trying to not think about the fact that I still had 2 more days of team competition looming, and treat it as a 2-day competition and then just pick up the pieces and figure it out for the next day. But as soon as that individual competition finished and we did the podium and everything like that, it kind of settled in that the weekend was really just starting, and there was a few of us there that were, you know, we weren't fresh. We were a little beat up from that individual competition, and knowing that we had 2 more big days ahead of us. So we'll save that for the next one, but it was fun. It was very cool. Individual competition at Wodapalooza, delivered as always, and yeah, happy to come away with another podium finish in Miami.
Third place with 632 points. Make some noise for Patrick Vellner. Make some noise for Roman. I cannot wait to see these photos.